The prosecutor's smirk was faint but unmistakable. When the bailiff called, "State of Georgia versus Marcus Hill," the courtroom stirred. A tall black man in his late 30s stood calmly and adjusted his simple gray suit. He wasn't accompanied by a defense attorney. No legal team filed in behind him, no rustling of briefcases or whispering aides. Just him. "Mr. Hill," Judge Lander said, raising her brows, "you're appearing pro se?" "Yes, Your Honor," Marcus said, his voice smooth but firm. "I am representing myself." The prosecutor, Eric Dalton, a fast-rising name in the district attorney's office, leaned back in his chair and whispered something to his colleague. They chuckled quietly. "Let's make this quick," Dalton muttered. The charges against Marcus were serious: possession with intent to distribute and obstruction of justice. The prosecution's case was based on testimony from a single officer and circumstantial evidence gathered during a questionable stop and search outside Marcus's tech consulting office. What no one in that courtroom knew, not the prosecutor, the judge, nor the observing reporters, was that Marcus had spent years studying law on the side, earning a Juris Master's degree, and even assisting pro bono legal clinics in civil rights cases. He just never had a reason to step into a courtroom on his own behalf, until now. The first hint that this wouldn't go as Dalton expected came when Marcus motioned to suppress evidence. "Your Honor, the traffic stop that led to the search was unconstitutional. No probable cause was established, and the officer's report fails to mention that I asked whether I was being detained." "3 times," Dalton objected. "He's attempting to reframe facts, not in evidence." But Marcus didn't flinch. "Actually, I'm citing Delaware versus Prouse, 440 U.S. 648. And I have body cam footage that wasn't included in discovery, but was submitted to my FOIA request." The courtroom fell quiet. "You filed a FOIA?" Judge Lander asked. "Yes," Marcus replied. "And I also submitted a preservation request to the department within 48 hours of my detainment. I have confirmation of receipt." He handed over a neatly labeled USB drive. Dalton blinked. "We weren't made aware of that footage because your office didn't follow proper disclosure protocol," Marcus said. "I'll be submitting a motion to compel and a motion for sanctions, pending review of the footage." By now, murmurs had replaced mockery. Marcus navigated each motion with poise, referencing specific case law, pinpointing inconsistencies in the arresting officer's narrative, and catching the prosecution off guard at nearly every turn. When the video was played in court 2 days later, it showed exactly what Marcus claimed. The officer initiated the stop without justification, escalated quickly, and ignored Marcus's repeated polite questions about whether he was being detained. Dalton looked pale. Then came Marcus's cross-examination of the officer. Calm and methodical, he highlighted discrepancies between the officer's testimony and the video. "You said you saw a suspicious exchange, but the footage shows me handing a business card to a colleague." The officer shifted. "I thought it looked like something else at the time." "You thought," Marcus repeated, "but thought isn't probable cause, is it?" The judge sustained no objections. She watched Marcus with growing respect. In closing arguments, Marcus spoke not just as a defendant, but as a citizen defending his dignity. "This case is about assumptions," he said, looking at the jury. "Assumptions made when a man of my appearance is seen on the street. Assumptions made in courtrooms when someone like me stands without a paid legal team. But the Constitution doesn't make assumptions, it grants rights. And today, I ask you to affirm mine." The jury returned in less than 3 hours, not guilty on all charges. Judge Lander, before adjourning, addressed Marcus directly. "I've seen few pro se defendants handle themselves with such professionalism and skill. You've made an impression here." Outside the courtroom, reporters gathered. One asked, "Will you consider becoming a full-time attorney?" Marcus smiled. "I already am, I just don't charge.